we tick over to the 90th minute. Sebastian Vivas from the spot. Saved by Garner, and the follow-up is over by Alves.
Welcome to Cannon Crew,
Alves
a weekly podcast discussing the Charleston Battery.
Get the extra point.
Your host Granite will be
It's
joined by
saved
other
by
defenders
Garner!
of the fleet from the black and yellow supporters section.
And that
Together
will be
they will
that.
help fortify and conquer.
Charleston Battery
They
get
are
the
the
extra
Cannon Crew.
points.
Welcome to the Cannon Crew. I am Granite, and I am joining you from way down south in Georgia. Where the devil went. And I'm joined by Patrick. Are you Patrick?
Tired. I'm living, so.
Welcome to life, young man. Welcome to life. Ryan?
Doing great, Grant. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I hear buzzing. What is that? Is that the drones? Are the drones after you?
Nah, it's my computer fan. It's a little old computer, so I'm just waiting to get an upgrade here soon.
For the whole computer or just the fan?
Huh?
Well, I edit all that fan noise out, but now everybody knows you got a fan noise.
No, thanks.
Could be a weed whacker.
The weed whacker. Well, he said it sounded like it was drones coming in from some foreign land to talk to him about goalkeeping. Talk to him about goalkeeping coaching. Talk to us about that, Ryan.
From Christian Gardner in the last match?
No, about you. You're supposed to talk about yourself. You're doing goalkeeping coaching.
Oh, yeah. So, any soccer player wanting to do goalkeeping lessons in the Charleston area, now with Total Soccer, so TSX Charleston, I do a free evaluation, and then there's other packages that you guys can go and sign up for. And I'm in Somerville, James Island, West Ashley. And then also in August, I'll be getting my tracer camera so that I can also film more sessions and stuff like that too. So
what do you evaluate? What is your evaluation? Do you get is it like getting on a circus ride? You have to be so tall?
Well, in my evaluation, the evaluation's more like a well-rounded circuit of various drills, shooting, distribution, diving, and just working on the fundamentals of basic positioning and making sure everything is working correctly. For example, the player I worked with yesterday at CSC, when he was having a hard time with penalty saves, and we worked on his chest positioning because he wasn't keeping his chest parallel when he was diving. He wasn't staying horizontal. He was opening his chest backwards. So like his back shoulder, he would overcompensate his front shoulder, or his back shoulder coming across. So his inside shoulder would be pointed open to the goal. So then if we touched it at all, it would still go in the back of the net. So we worked on that, and he did a lot better on penalty kicks after that.
We're going to talk about penalty kicks here in a little bit.
Yes,
but where else? So it sounds like you might know what you're doing, just a touch.
Okay, just a smidge.
Well, I will say that the couple of players that you have coached, tutored, mentored, love your energy and love everything you bring to the game. Practice, they say it's not boring. It's a lot of fun. They're being challenged. So I think it sounds like you're doing a pretty good job. And you're chasing your coaching license for what?
Yep. So at the moment, I just had my first class yesterday for my D license for U.S. Soccer. So I'll get it's a 9-week course. So we'll talk a little bit about that each week, do little check-ins on that. I'll have to travel to Greenville for 2 in-person weekends. And then after I complete the D license course, hopefully in 6 months in the springtime, I'll be able to go after my C license course.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. And plus you might get to sneak in a match up at Greenville.
Yes, I'm excited about that. End of August, hopefully going to go up and get to see Toby again and catch their game against Eximoa. Is it, how you say it?
Sure.
Eximoa, something like that. But
Only
I think
thing.
it's going to be a good game. And Toby, you got Jägermeister Team of the Week, so congrats to him.
So he's only been here for a couple weeks, right? And he's already got at least one goal, an assist.
I think he's a month in now.
Team of the Week. He's like beast mode. But anyways, we're not going to talk about.
And that's coming off a 40-game season in England.
Yeah, we're going to try to get him back on so we can harass him a little bit and see when he's going to come to the real big leagues, USL Championship. Even though Greenville might win the Jägermeister Cup, who knows? So let's transition to that team in South Georgia. We had a quite vociferous conversation on our WhatsApp group as the match went on, and as we got more and more tense, I become more and more vocal, and everyone took their positions, and we dug in and we stuck to it. But first, before we get to my lamb-blasting people, Patrick, what do you think of the first couple goals?
Well, let's dial it back. Let's start with just first half. Some changes to the lineup. So more typical of what we've seen in, say, last year. We had our two center backs starting next to each other for the first time in a long time, paired with Segbers out wide and Ikaza and Rodriguez.
And who else?
Cal up top. And then our boy Johnny.
And Vigo.
I don't know if we're legally allowed to say it. He's not 18, right? We can't say his name. But we did have a youngster out there who looked incredible. Our first goal, we want to get into it, is coming off of the back of his work, dribbling in the box, dribbling around some defenders, and winning a corner, which led to our first goal. So I thought he was a lively spark. I thought he brought something that we really don't have in our team, which is individual play in between players. We have individual play that's kind of outside the box, but someone that drives really hard and looks for cutbacks, not just drive and shoot, but drive and cutback, driving across the goal face. So yeah, I thought he was looking pretty awesome, as well as Ikaza. I thought Ikaza had a lot of spark out there. So between him, Rodriguez, and Victor, we had a lot of energy in that first half, but I'm sure we'll get into it later. Few subs, lack of energy, kind of the whole game plan goes out the window. But I thought first goal was great. I'm pretty sure we predicted center back goal from a corner set piece, and I think you got the player correct. And Leland coming back had a goal, bread and butter
off his forehead, bang, right in there. Beautiful. It was a beautiful corner kick set up, because all he had to do is just jump up and kind of redirect it in. So yes, I've nailed that one, and then it went down from hill from there for me. But anyways,
yeah, I mean, also, if this game was in the USL, I think Rodriguez would be tallying up a lot of assists. I think he's really starting to shine in this team, so I can't wait to have Juan David back and back into regular play, to see these guys cook the opposition, give them no breath, like just tear them down, suffocate them, because you could tell we were missing Juan David in that squad. Yeah, there were some moments where we kind of just let off, and I don't know if it was what we talked about, what you kind of said in the group with Pyramid and coaching, but I mean, as players too, and I think a few players really let us down. I mean, Segbers is one for sure. I think he honestly had a penalty shout in the first half that should have been called, and he was lucky to get away with it.
Yeah, and he's been putting in minutes for several matches now. Just this isn't the first time we've seen him. He's come in a handful of matches and played 20 minutes or so. And so I don't know if it's match fitness for him. He just doesn't seem as quick as he was before his injury. And so I think that adds to it when you're getting beat. And they had what we call him the Demblay of Tormenta. The man's fast. But trying to keep up with that, you end up doing silly things to get you in trouble. I think is what we're seeing from Segbers. But I think you're spot on. Hey, because he was playing kind of that back there where Aaron Malloy and plays and letting everybody up in front of him really work the ball. He brought a lot of energy and there was impressive moments, and then there wasn't so impressive moments.
Yeah, and shout out to Tormenta's goal as well. What a strike. Free kick. Gorgeous goal. I mean, you hate to see it, but I don't know. Ryan, do you see anything from a keeper standpoint on that thing? Or is it just admiration of a nice free kick?
I mean, yeah, it's nice placement, great goal. It's a hard pill to swallow, but at the same time, too, you have to respect them. Like I always say, too, you always have to respect your opponent and understand at the same time, too. They're playing on the same pitch as you for a reason. There's a reason why they are able to share the pitch with you. And they were able to showcase that in the first half and absolutely put away a beautiful goal. Do I feel like Christian could have saved it? Possibly 100% if he replays it in his head, but I think 100% he needs to not think about it and move on to the next. As he had a lot more action the rest of the night.
And it was a very dangerous spot to give up that foul.
Yeah. I was not pleased with that. I knew as soon as it happened in that one spot, I mean, like, as battery fans, like, we've seen it on both ends, right? Both ends where if the foul happens there for us, we're like, yes, because we know what it can do. But if it's against us, we're already on edge because we've seen it go the other way so many times. And this one, again, adds to it.
Could be taller jumpers.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, maybe just not give it up. We could start with that.
No, that would be too easy. That'd be way too easy.
We had some tall guys in there, right?
Maybe foul them like 10 yards further up the field to where they'll go.
Or closer, one of the two.
Or closer.
This
is the one where you need the wall to cheat the ref out of his spray foam line.
Exactly. Just kind of start edging forward. Hey, and you mentioned something very important, was the pitch. Did their pitch look under very similar conditions that we're in? They're just a couple 100 miles south of us, not even that far. And their pitch looked like in a lot better condition than ours.
That was AI. That was all AI.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
And I did discuss that next time I go down to Tormenta, we're going to hide in the sand pit behind it. And every time they shoot a ball over, because they were really good at doing that, we're just going to snag them and sneak off with them and sell them in the black market. They're like 100.
You would have a lot. They had 20 some shots and only 7 on target. So
thank goodness, right?
Yeah, your Dembele boy, man. If he could shoot,
he did. He shot.
We would be in a world of hurt.
He shot. It just wasn't as accurate as they'd probably like. He just as we said, he just didn't have his shooting boots on. He must have left them in the truck or something like that. So,
yeah, I think his name's Reed Steven, and we did give him credit that he was a menace to us, but he also got shot down right away, as this is why he's kind of at the level he's at and not up a higher level, because that kind of turnaround breakthrough speed is deadly, and he just can't do anything with it.
If all he had to do is just stop. I don't know. Because he was always like 10 feet in front of our back line. And I want to give a shot. Christian Gardner took 21 shots. I can't remember how he got a goal. And one of those was a breakaway, and he got it with his foot. And I think that was probably going to goal. And it was a great save. And we're going to talk about some other saves. But that one, I think, was a great save that wasn't mentioned a whole lot. But I think it really set us up to keep scoring goals and put us in the front, because we weren't trying to deal with leaking another goal. Brian, you want to jump in?
No, it's the reason why I like Christian so much, and I'm a big fan of his. And it comes from his simple work ethic, his grind, his attitude, and the way he carries himself and discipline on the pitch. Off the pitch, we've seen how he is. We've interacted with him a bit, and that he has the right approach about everything. And then when it comes to on the pitch too, you just see the constant raising of the standards. He's constantly raising his standards in which he holds himself in the game throughout the game as the game progresses, as it goes in, and it's continuous. It's every single game. It's the same pattern. Whether he makes a mistake or not, he is still going further. He is still outperforming than what he did the mistake that just happened, right? Yes, he let 3 goals in, but he didn't deter that away from him making the final save in the penalty shootout, right? So hats off to him.
I'm going to call you on that. He let 3 goals in. He didn't let 3 goals.
No, I'm just saying no. And the reason why I say to let 3 goals in is because at the end of the day, some of these people will just say, oh, he had 3 goals for him, or how did these goals, because they're not watching the highlights. Right. Some of these people aren't watching the highlights, and they gotta understand, like, that first goal is an absolute bang. Beautiful. Not a lot he can do about that. There's not a whole lot. Literally 2% chance. If I gave a statistic percentage on it, like 2%. Okay, so anything over 65%, like you have a 65% chance of saving it, kind of iffy still. So you still have a lot of variables. So
About
some
35.
keepers you just dive to throw out a body card to save it, see if you can. You never know.
You never know. So what else? So I think we scored a couple more goals after that, right?
Yeah, we did. 2 more.
Yeah, second half was much better.
Yeah.
We had a goal again, this time Rodriguez driving through 3 players and getting the ball cut back to Cal, who does Cal things, turns, shoots.
Spinny.
Yeah, deflection or not, it's on target. Deflection just puts it in a different side of the target and goes in.
It's a bank shot. It's a bank shot. It wasn't a deflection. It was a bank
The
shot.
most
He knew that.
upsetting way to get scored on for a keeper. Like, literally just makes you want to take the ball out and just put it in the stands, and then you just get flooded by.
This is the type of goal we've been missing a lot, is just the turn and shoot, and something happens. Like, we saw games where we just went without shooting to begin the year, and you're like, well, probably not going to win if you're not even shooting it. So this is what happens. A little bit of luck, yes, but
that was like a roundhouse turn. It wasn't just kind of like a turn. It was like he came fly. He had to really get some momentum with his leg to defeat the attempted block, to defeat the velocity stealing deflection, or bank shot, as I like to call it, and he still put it in the back to goal.
yeah. And then we had Victor come off, who I thought played really well for 60 minutes. And
yeah, well, let's talk about him. Yeah, let's talk about his play.
Come on though for him, who created the third chance.
Let's talk about Vigo, right?
Yeah.
Because what he didn't do is he didn't put us in jeopardy. He worked his butt off. He went out there and he didn't make mistakes. How old is he?
17.
Yeah, 17, 18. And that was his first start for us. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
that was his baby.
So great for him to come in on the pitch and not messing things up, because I imagine the stress and the pressure and everything else. He looked small compared to those Tormenta players, but that's just, he's gonna have to deal with that. I think he did a fantastic job. Okay, now let's talk about who come on for him.
Kelly, the new guy, right?
Yeah.
First minutes in a Battery jersey, and we didn't have to wait long. What was it? It came on 62nd minute, and 2 minutes later,
it's almost his first touch, right?
Yeah. First touch. I mean, I guess the only better first touch you could have is if you put it in the net yourself, but unselfish layoff play to Ikaza, who is working his ass off, and great goal. I mean, he held off, 3 guys on that, kind of in the box to lay it back.
Yeah. And then as he lays it off back to Ikaza, he just calmly walks away. Just calmly gets out of the way so Ikaza can ripple the net in the back. So yeah, what a big difference coming in. That's hopefully he's not our super sub. Hopefully we get him out there starting and he can do more great things like that.
Yeah.
What else? We were talking about some other.
I think him and Allen are going to have a good rotation of going back and forth for some games. Maybe not getting the tired legs, but kind of that big presence. You're not really turning the ball over with these guys, and you're going to get these better outlet passes from them. Just another great signing, honestly. A guy who's just going to add to our team.
Ryan, any thoughts on signings and adding to the team? Nope. Okay, let's move on to. So we thought we were cruising. We thought we were ready. We were just kind of chilling, right?
I like where we're at, and I like the signing, being in the midfield, being in the attacking half, being in the defensive half. I like it. I don't think we need anybody. I don't think we need anybody else.
Oh, yes, we do.
Yeah.
Is there anyone we can get rid of that maybe we saw sub on in the 72nd minute?
Who was that? One of those.
It was a different Rodriguez, who I thought was very lackluster and maybe the wrong substitution to make.
Diego?
Yeah.
There's another sub in there too that was just, we all went, this is very underwhelming. I'm not going to mention his name, but.
Well, the camera almost went past him because you expect a player to jog onto the field and you just kind of slumber out there. So not a great start to seeing your players enter the pitch.
Yeah, maybe it's time for him to reevaluate his presence on the team. Yeah, I don't know. But what did happen is we had a complete collapse of our back two, namely one. Well, if it's Sægbergs and Leland. They were just getting behind us, and here we are. I think we're cruising to an easy 3-1 victory, and all of a sudden they tie it up.
Yeah, so I know we talked about in our kind of group chat that second goal, and you were kind of not cussing out Leland, but giving him some well-deserved criticism. But watching it back, I mean, Rodriguez was right there, the younger Rodriguez, and it looked like he went to go for the man and then just stopped. And so Leland is playing closer to where his position is. So, I mean, it's definitely miscommunication, but when you just have someone young like that, they don't recognize these things, and you can see what happens from it.
Yeah, and then my criticism turned from Leland to I'm going to really jump out here and say that I think Coach Pierman did us dirty. I know he likes to attack, but when you see their player getting behind us time and time again, and not just getting behind us, but getting behind us big with the ball, thank God he didn't have his shooting boots. Thank God that CG stopped one of them. And why not park the bus? Nobody's explained to me why not just park the bus. Why not just support your backs there? They're coming off injury. Why not just park the bus?
I mean, it's almost like he decided to bring his smaller lineup of players. I mean, even most of these subs, yes, Kelly's a larger guy, but he is more attack-minded. Conway, to me, it's going to sound harsh, but he is the same as the yellow figurines you put on the training pitch. He's not going to be working out there for you. He's not the first guy back and defending. I mean, MD is a different case. And this is the issue. You can't have Cal just played 90 minutes. I mean, we talked. They all looked tired. It was hot. Everybody was sweating. The ref went swimming at halftime.
Yeah, he did mention that, didn't you?
But, like, Cal and MD would have been working harder as that first line of defense, and you have a guy like Conway come on and just kind of jog around the pitch. It's not doing anything from your team. It's not helping the guys behind him. It's putting more pressure on them because they know the ball's just coming directly through. So like,
Yeah, and I
it,
appreciate
yeah,
and I
it's just
appreciate
it's
you,
rough.
younger
It
players.
starts up top,
Yeah.
and in a game like this, you can see a few of these substitutions. Yeah, you want to give the guy minutes, but he doesn't deserve it at this point if that's the performance you're going to get out of him.
Yeah, absolutely. So if it's a senior player, you don't if they're gonna not play like that, that's doesn't look good to your junior players. And
Well,
so there's no time on the pitch.
Do you think that, you know, he's trying to force himself out?
I don't think with Pierman guys, he tries to force guys out because he'll just not play them. I mean, we
Yeah.
saw it
Well,
with
no, I'm not
guys last
saying
year.
Yearman's way. I'm saying it's the player's way. With the
I,
attitude, that's what I'm saying. The approach that he's taking on the pitch and what everyone is saying, do you think he's doing that because he wants to be moved? Like he does it, like of who he has in front of him and what has been his minutes thus far this season and where we currently stand. Do you think he's like, okay, maybe move on somewhere else?
I don't think it's as much that as it is just character deflation. Like he thought he was going to get a better chance, but the competition's in, and he's just not going to. He's not competing for it. And some people are that way. They fold under pressure in competition and prefer an easier route. And I think he's just at that time in his career where it's really not panning out anymore. You're not the young guy who's out there like we saw with MD. MD was the young guy who's scoring a bunch in MLS next, and then comes over and has to wait a little bit behind the strike force of Marcanic, Juan David. I mean, I think he doesn't do well with the competition we have, and competition is good for a team with championship aspirations.
100%.
I
And that's,
I,
I think, like, but like, do you think that attitude though, with him being here, this is his third season now?
I don't think if he had the attitude, Coach Pierre wouldn't put him out there. I don't know what happens when he steps out there, but I think if he had attitude, he's trying to not play his way off the team. I don't think Coach Pierre put him out there.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised because I'm looking at the similar to the Jake Latavo situation when Jake got sent out to San Antonio mid-season. It's a very similar because Jake only played that last game. His last game, he only played a little bit of minutes, and it wasn't too pretty. And that was about all she wrote for him.
Yeah,
It's just everything's kind of similar. So I wouldn't be surprised, is all I'm saying. But that's all.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he left also because he's only getting a couple minutes at the end of a Jägermeister Cup, which we really don't have any chance of moving on. Maybe we do, but
no chance. Yeah, no way, no chance.
And we will be bringing back a striker from Gold Cup here once USA
that scored,
beats,
right?
Yeah, once USA beats them Wednesday night. So
Well, that's not a given.
Dude,
Let's not even go. That's not.
I was telling y'all that. Well, I was definitely telling everybody around here about Costa Rica coming in, and it was going to make it very difficult for the U.S.
I mean, it's not the strongest U.S. team, so let's not forget that.
No,
US,
no, not the strongest U.S. team. A U.S. team, but it does make it question who should now be carried into the World Cup roster. A few of these guys, there's a little handful, and keeper situation is a good topic to talk about too with the U.S. national team. So that's definitely a talk for another day. Where those keepers currently stand and who's looking right for the World Cup. I mean,
let's just call this the U.S. youth soccer team, where if your dad says the right stuff and has the right money, you're gonna get on the pitch. We'll just leave it at that.
What are you talking about? Well, let's talk about something else. So let's talk about some cool stuff. We've been kind of downer on some things. Is Segbers gets caught. PK. CG facing, that's presumably their best PK taker. And he stops it. When we talked to him, he says, I'm a shot stopper, right? Is this what he's talking about? How many PK we see him say? Yeah.
Well, outside of penalty shootout, 2 times though.
And we've seen him play 3 times.
Yeah.
So Ryan, talk us through the intense look on his face. And kind of the decision making.
He's fully locked in and wanting to know everything about that player before he even kicks it. And in this league, I'd be very intrigued because most players you see in the Premier League now, like these young keepers growing up, they're like looking at like Jordan Pickford, who has the water bottle next to the goal, who has a picture of the goal where their top few goal scorers, like he would take a pin and what place they typically go to percentage wise, all broken down or where they go. And, you know, not having something similar to that, I know when they do their scouting reports, they say, okay, this is the dude. We've seen him take the last 3, and the last 3, he's gone this way every time, you know, and you kind of use that to your best judgment. If that report came across, I'm sure it was, with him being the best shot stopper. I feel like Christian wanted a pen to save that game. It's unfortunate what followed after that in added time, but he definitely wanted to put the game in his hands, like at the very end, and wanted it. I felt like when Segbers fouled him, he kind of cheered. He was excited. He was like, I could end it right here.
Well, I kind of felt like you just wanted to set it up so you could stop another one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, stop it, and then the game would be over, but at a time.
I mean, it was a huge save at the time because the Battery was still winning 3-2, and this was the 89th minute. So I know I was holding my breath watching that, and then once he saves it, I was like, all right, great, in the bag, we're good. That was it. That was the last one. It wasn't, but
yeah,
hell of a save for the timing. 90th minute to just deny them that equalizer, which should have put that game to bed in regular time.
Man, talk about a roller coaster for him, right? So we're up 3-1, rolling. And all of a sudden, I got to stop a PK to keep us, you know,
ahead.
Ahead. I do that. Woo! And then all of a sudden, they're breaking through again and scoring a goal. And then now all of a sudden we're tied up.
We headed to another 30 minutes of added time.
Yeah. No.
In the brutal heat.
You mean PKs?
Just the PKs.
No, wait.
It felt like 30 minutes.
It felt like it with the weight.
Because I was screaming and yelling on WhatsApp. I was quite upset, pissed off. And you guys were like, no. And I'm like, yes, I know whose fault it is. I won't say whose fault I know. So then we go to penalty kicks. Easy peasy. We're rolling. I think CG did us, you know, I'll let it go until the last one. He almost was the third one? He almost got a hand on it. It was kind of
there's one that went
off, right?
There's 100% one that went off his fingertips.
Yeah. I will say this, that if it comes down to PKs in the future, I want CG in the net. If we're facing Phoenix or whatever in the final again, we better be subbing CG in the last 30 seconds so he can face PKs, right?
Well, now keepers don't. You can switch your keepers out for pins.
Even in the PK situation?
Yeah.
Well,
you gotta look at that rule. You gotta look at that rule because I thought they changed it.
They might have. And to be fair, the rules only changed like today.
Yeah.
Right? Is it June 1st or July 1st? I can't remember when the new IFAB laws of the game go in. But anyways, So down that last one, and he stops it, and he doesn't look happy. He just steps up. He looks out at everyone. I don't know if it was a look of disgust, of like, screw y'all. If you guys can't win this, I'll win it for you. And then he walked over to the opposing keeper and shook his hand. It was kind of anticlimactic.
He knows he had about 3.5 hour ride home.
Oh, I'd be talking shit to
He wanted to
everyone.
leave earlier.
We should have went down and picked him up.
Just take him out right after the 90th minute. All right, come on.
Yeah. Well, if you look at like the stories, he was talking about when he was getting a position where he thinks he could do, break it into the big time, and then something would happen and they would bring somebody in and he'd be back down on the bench, and all these stories like he was telling. And I felt like this was kind of the same thing. Oh, look, I'm cruising. Bam. Nope. They're going to give it up. They're going to make me really work for this. And then he said, at the end, it's in my hand or hands. They took it.
I mean, it's not often you have games where 3 goals go in and you're not sitting there blaming the keeper. You're looking at everyone else on that field. It's a really tough scenario to ever be in, because usually the keeper takes a lot of heat. But I think every Battery fan can agree. None of this was on Gardner. This was 100% elsewhere on the field, and he put his heart to keep us in this game and get us the win. Well, the draw with the bonus point, which is a win in my book, because we were sitting with 0 points at the bottom of the table. Now we have 2 points, and we have a chance to actually get through out of this USL Jägermeister Cup.
Yeah, he won the game for us easily.
We have 2. So remaining, we have 2 Jägermeister Cups remaining. 2 Jägermeister Cup games to Tampa and Miami.
Yeah, and if we just get 2 wins, then we should be good.
So I thought it was, how many advance out of the table?
The top 2, and then there's 2 wild cards or something like that. Something like that. We should know this. We're supposed to be these semi-professional amateurs.
Well, it's the first year.
Yeah.
And it's a little more Jägermeister than Cup right now.
I got a lot of cups. And no Jägermeister. And I have some backups. I have some sub cups. Okay, let's that was a very grueling match, and I'm glad we came out the other side. It seemed like our players had to do a lot of work to get it over the line, and now we're facing a game tomorrow night against the Legion in Birmingham, I do believe. Part of the reason why somebody couldn't get on the podcast. We'll find you later. You know who you are. But anyways, what do you think, Ryan? What are we gonna do with this one? Or let's just go straight for goal predictions.
Give a Patrick for her say. I'll look up Major real quick. I forgot to do this.
As Ryan is looking up his gambling websites on his phone.
Yes.
Ryan doesn't gamble. Patrick, what do you think?
I think we'll bounce back. We've been in this kind of pattern for the past 5-6 games where we draw or lose, and then we win. And then we draw or lose, and then we win. Well, we just drew, so I feel like we're going to win. Maybe 2-1. But I think it's going to be a little more controlled than a 2-1 scoreline would indicate. I think we're going to actually possess the ball really well. We'll have our main guys back. We'll kind of keep the pressure on, and then the other team will just slowly fade into the distance.
Do you think we'll see some Kelly time?
I think he's going to ramp it up a little bit. I mean, he got 30 minutes in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he starts. I don't know. It's between him and Allen, I would say, and Allen came on in this game as well. So honestly, like most things in this sport, we'll see who's better in training throughout the week and then who gets the nod.
And Aaron's been chilling, right? Aaron's been chilling. But he should be ready. Rock and roll.
Yeah, but only a short week, though, to earn those minutes. So it's a midweek game. So tomorrow, Wednesday, I'm really liking it. Just feel like it's going to be, we're going to get a hold of it on the road. I feel like Birmingham's going to lose their heads. And I feel like Cal is just going to bring that old heat with them and just serve it up nicely down there for them in Alabama. I'm going with 4-0.
4-0?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. I was going to go with 2-1 also.
Well, 4-0 on the road.
I'll split. I'll go 3-1. How's that? 4-0. Okay, let's put the skin in the game. If it is 4-0, then you buy Patrick and myself a beer at the next match. No?
Can't be the other way around?
No, not at all. You made the outlandish 4-0 claim. So
then if it's Wade's.
You should be proud of it. It's like being at the bar and like, next round's on me. So
which will be a quick turnaround because it's Sunday.
Ding, ding, ding.
At Patriots Point against those dirty Northerners.
For a trophy, for a cup.
Who has the cup right now?
Huh?
Do we have it? Is it still in the front of the van that I saw a picture of last I saw in between the two front seats? I was like,
we currently have it, but we are losing right now because, we're losing 2-1 on aggregate right now.
Hey, with as prolific scores as we are, as you're saying we're going to be, then I think we'll be good.
I think we'll beat North Carolina too. We'll get to there after Birmingham and Eaglesville. Okay. I got the scripts already lined up. Birmingham, already been written.
Okay, there you go. Cheating that way you can buy his beers.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know when one DB hits it off of the post and it goes in, wraps around the net. I'm just saying, and when it happens, don't come screaming to me, cheering, saying, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah, sounds great. Okay. I think I hope the fans show up and aren't on that 4th of July hangover on Sunday. So.
Oh, Sunday, yeah. I will be not here. I will be scouting in my big trip south. Then the midnight train to Georgia. Well, it's 7:30. But anyways, so you guys are gonna have to hold down the fort and make sure that good things happen.
We'll try. We'll get this first win, and then we'll ease into the next one.
Okay. Fair enough. Does anybody else have anything to add? We're like really quiet here at the end. We're very contemplative. So there's this like match last Saturday night, match tomorrow night, match Sunday night. That's 3. Hopefully we've got the legs to do it. We're used to the heat. So we can't use heat as an excuse. We just got to muscle through it. And hopefully Edwards comes off being injured. Other cool thing, I think the battery put out, and I don't know, I can't remember if this is a battery thing, but talking about, now I can't remember. Joey, just how many miles he's put in and how much work he's put in over the last couple matches as a defender was really, really cool to see those numbers. Shows that they're out there working. And he got a well-deserved break. And now I expect to see him back out there again so we can get this 4-0.
This is like our big push month as well, like our last big push month, because this is the last month of our season at 5 games. Even though the Tampa game at the end of the month is the Jägermeister Cup, it's an additional game. And, 12 games across 3 months after that. I think these boys can be able to space it out and be able to make that threatening push for the long term in the playoffs.
I agree. We got to be ready because we can do it. We got to get over the line this time.
Yeah, we gotta keep a center back on the bench too. No matter how tired or how many other players we want to travel with, we gotta keep at least one just in case moments like this where
Yep.
you need a lifeblood out there to respark the defense in the midfield.
And to prevent injury, because when you're tired and you're getting beat all the time, you do, bad things can happen. Okay, so for a short podcast, we've droned on for 45 minutes. I think that's all I got. Ryan, anything else? Any following thoughts? Up the battery?
All set. Up the battery.
Come on. Patrick, any hand signals?
Underwork night on Sunday.
We are the fleet, your ships we will sail.